everyone, welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry. Something a little different. I'm going to make a dessert. I need to make a dessert for a potluck holiday event that we're going to tonight. So I decided to make something I haven't made in a while, but super easy to make. It's very tasty, and I thought it was perfect for just before Thanksgiving. It is an apple cranberry cobbler, and for the crust you use sugar cookie dough. So I'm going to show you how to make it. So I am not the best cook in the world. I can follow recipes pretty well, but this one I've made several times, and like I say, pretty easy to make. So let's see if we can do this, and I'll share it with you, and then you can make it. So I got to preheat the oven to 400. So I'm going to do that in our new oven. Okay, so that's good. All right, so then we need to peel, core, and slice Granny Smith apples. So what you're going to need is 4 Granny Smith apples for this recipe, a can of whole berry cranberry sauce, some ground cinnamon, some sugar cookie dough, and I got 2 of them. You need a 16 ounce, or no, what is it? A package, a 20 ounce of refrigerated cookie dough, and this is just over a pound, so I got 2. So we'll probably have some left over, and we'll just make sugar cookies out of those. And then you also need some brown sugar, some all-purpose flour, and I think that's it. It's like I say, not a lot of ingredients. So this is my apple core peeler slicer that I have had for years. It's a Pampered Chef product. Long ago, probably, gosh, almost 30 years ago, I did Pampered Chef for a short period of time, maybe a couple months. But I've always liked their products, and I continue to use their products. I don't buy anything anymore, but the apple core peeler slicer is always fun. And Tom loves to use this too. Tom's around here somewhere. He may pop in later. So I've already washed the apples. And like I say, hopefully I can remember how to use this, because I haven't used it in a while. But you got to be careful with the prongs that are on these. Get it centered on there. And the other neat thing you can do with this, and I might do this, probably should get another plate, is the apple peel that comes off. You can bake those in the oven with some cinnamon and sugar, and they're a great little snack. But let me grab an extra plate. Okay, so I have my plate. I'm going to move my other ingredients and whatnot out of the way so I can do the apples. And like I say, let's see if I can remember how to do this. So far, so good. You got to hold on to it pretty stiff. Oh, I forgot. It sprays the juice everywhere, and it's getting on my watch. No, I'm gonna have to take my watch off. Okay, and so then you just pull the apple off. And you put the peels there. And this is the tough part here, getting the core back off. Kind of have to cut it off because you don't want to just slide it with your hand. You may cut yourself on the little prongs. So sometimes you gotta kind of cut those off. To get it off all the way. Maybe you guys know an easier way to get this stuff off. Okay, off. Okay, so then we'll do apple number 2. There's a little lever here that you pull back. Pull your handle back. My mom thought it was pretty funny when I decided that I wanted to do, I had been to a Pampered Chef party and bought a whole bunch of stuff, but then found out you could get a bunch of free stuff if you were a consultant too. So I decided to do that. My mom thought it was pretty funny because I'm not the best cook in the world. But they were still supportive. I think they bought stuff. But it was fun. It didn't last very long, like I said. I did a couple shows, private shows. Did a fundraiser one time, but so it was fun. Okay, that's apples done. If I use a fork, it'll come off easier. Oops. Yep. Okay. Apple number 3. Some people have these apple cores that are just old school that would clamp onto a table. So these have been around for a long time, but this little unit is really handy. And we maybe use it once or twice a year. Tom's a good cook. He doesn't cook very often, but he's a good cook. If he makes a apple pie, he'll use this. Okay, oven's ready. Ooh, that one did much better. Okay, and the last apple. Now, of course, I guess if you don't have one of these fancy little things, you could just slice up your apples, because that's basically what we're going to do, is slice them in half. So you certainly don't have to have one of these. You could just peel your apple, slice it up as if you were making an apple pie too. So that's my 4. And I have one extra, so I'm going to go ahead and do this extra one. And whoops, just in case I have enough to maybe make a second pie, or I might just put them in the oven with some cinnamon. Okay, so that's the one extra apple. Oh, that one came off, all right. Okay, I'm gonna go rinse this off. All right. So we've cut the apples, so we're gonna cut them in half. And sometimes you have a little bit of the peel that's still on there. So you can just peel that off of there. A couple of these have some peel on them still. Tom likes Granny Smith apples, so he can eat that part. I don't really like them unless they're cooked. So that ends okay. Okay, so we just need the 4. Okay, so we have our 4 apples peeled, cored, and sliced. And so now we're just gonna cut them in half. So we'll just put them in half. Okay, and then we're going to place those in our pie pan. I'm using glass rather than my stone baker for this, so it should all be good. I'm going to put a little bit of Pam in here just in case. And I'm just gonna wipe it around so there's not a lot of it. Okay, so that's that. So then we're gonna place these, and you kind of layer them on each other. Or overlap them a little bit on each other when you put them in. And you're just going to fill up your pan, or if you're using a stone deep dish baker, I think that's what they used to be called. Whoop. Get them all going the same direction. And then you start the next row on the inside. And you can go over and layer it up again. There might be some thin spots. So it's kind of even thickness with the apples. And this is a little smaller than the deep dish baker. So we've got some leftover apple, but that's fine. Like I say, I have 2, so 2 pans that I think I'm going to use, just so I have a little extra. Okay, so the next part is to make your cranberry sauce. So I have my bowl, and we're going to put in some cranberry. This is the whole cranberry sauce. if I can get my can opener to work. Actually, you know what? I guess I gotta go upside down on that. It's got a curved edge on the top. That ain't gonna work with this can opener. Okay, and we're gonna put that in our bowl. And stir it all up and get it all broken up. Okay, so that's our cranberry sauce, and we need 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. So I have my brown sugar, 1/3 of a cup. It's a brand new bag of brown sugar. And get it packed down a little. So, okay, so there's 1/3 of a cup that goes in there. We got the brown sugar down before I went to the market to see what condition it was in, knowing it probably was going to be hard as a rock, and it was. So, what else? So now we need the flour, which is 3 tablespoons of flour. And this is just all-purpose flour. This is a brand new bag. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have our cranberry, a can of cranberry. We've got our brown sugar. We've got 3 tablespoons of flour. And what else we need? A teaspoon of cinnamon. I forgot the teaspoon, so I'm going to grab that. Okay, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Okay, get that. And we're going to mix it all up. This is another Pampered Chef thing. I've had this stuff, like I say, Tom and I have been married for 17 years, and I lived up at Lake Tahoe for about 10 years before I met Tom. So that's 27. So yeah, it's been about 30 years. So I've had this stuff for 30 years. And I kind of just use it once or twice a year, but it's super quality stuff. So, and it's obviously held up. All right, so we got that all mixed up. And then we are going to pour the mix over the apples, and then we'll do the cookie. So I'm just kind of spreading that with the fork. kind of delicate so that I don't get my apples all out of place. Okay, so it's on there pretty even, spread all over. Okay. All right, and then we got to cook, we got to cut the cookie dough that we're going to place over the top. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to clean up my workspace and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're now going to cook our, why do I keep saying that? Cut our cookie dough that's been in the refrigerator. And we're going to place that over the top of the apple and cranberry mixture. So you're going to cut about 1/4 of an inch on the sugar cookie slices. So with that one, and see if we can get pepper. Okay. And then you're just going to place them around the top to fill in on the pan. So again, about 1/4 of an inch is your size. And I guess you could really do any kind of a topping in terms of how you wanted to design it. If you wanted to look a certain fancy, I'm not that fancy. So I guess I'm really only going to need one of these. Okay, so there you go. And we're going to put it in the oven. So then the rest, I'm going to get a cookie sheet and I'm going to put the extra cookie dough on that. So, so that's it. So you're going to put it in a 400-degree oven, and it will bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. You're just going to keep an eye on it until the apples are tender and the top is golden brown. So you're just going to keep an eye on it depending on your elevation and your oven. So we have a brand new oven, so hopefully it's going to be right at 30 to 35. This will make 10 servings, or the recipe says 20 sample servings. And again, it's a really nice, easy way to make a dessert for a potluck or for your own house for entertaining and whatnot. So I hope you'll give it a try, and we'll come back after it's done in the oven and show you what it looks like. I'm not going to cut it because we're taking it to an event that we're going to tonight. So hopefully everybody will enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and like I say, we'll pop back in here in just a little bit and see what it looks like after it's done in the oven. All right, thanks. Okay, well, I did make my extra batch. So 30 minutes is too long. So it's a little brown. It probably looks a little darker than it really is. But I did a little scrape off on that. This was 30 minutes. So I would say, and this one, I should say, this one is the leftovers that I had. That one was 25 minutes. So definitely start with the lower amount. But I'm sure this is all still very good. And like I say, I think it looks a little darker on the video than it really is. So anyways, and then I have in the oven the apple peel with the cinnamon on top. So it's cooking now, and that's just a little extra treat. I'll show a picture of that here in just a few minutes as soon as that's done. But anyways, very tasty. This one I had a little bit of the cranberry left, not a lot, but I had enough apples with doing the 5 apples that I could do it. And the 2 batches of the sugar cookies was enough to do 2. So if you want to do 2, you certainly can. And if you want to make sure you have plenty of the cranberry, I'd probably go with another can of the cranberry to fill that in on the second one. So anyways, I'll come back in just a minute and show you the apple twists. All right. Here are the apple peelings. I just put them on a cookie sheet, put some Pam on there, put them on the cookie sheet, sprinkled some cinnamon on it. I guess you could put some sugar if you wanted, but I thought the Granny Smith was probably had the sweetness already. And just kept them in the oven, same temperature, the 400, and it was about 15 minutes or so on these. So just a nice little snack. So, well, thanks for watching. Hope you'll try the recipe. And just remember, don't look at maybe 25 minutes on the baking in the oven. Keep an eye on it and see how your oven does. 30 minutes was a little too long. So anyways, just keep an eye on it. All right, see you next time. Bye.